Good morning. This is Main and Center being brought to you as a public service at WBTA for our fine friends at the Crossroads House right here in Batavia. It's Chris Kalin and company, and please welcome Diane Saya. Good morning, Diane. It's good to see you again.
Good morning, Chris.
You've brought some guests in. Please introduce these nice ladies today.
I have, Chris. Well, the two ladies I brought with me today are members of the Crawford family, and they have a relationship with a former resident who was at Crossroads House 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to let them tell their story. I have with us today Charlotte Crawford and Deanna Crawford Redden.
Wonderful to meet you, ladies. Welcome.
Welcome. Good morning.
We'll start with Charlotte first. Tell me a little bit about yourself, Charlotte. Where are you from originally?
Okay, I live in Darien right now, and I have been in that area, Darien, Corpus area, for about 30, 40 years.
All right.
So a little while.
Did you go to school there?
No, I actually graduated high school in Oakfield, but
Mm-hmm.
I went to a few different colleges.
Gotcha.
I have a nursing degree.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And so did you go into nursing as your career?
I did for many, many years.
Mm-hmm.
I was a nurse for a long time.
And thank you for setting the table, so to speak, so I know a little bit about you. What was the inspiration or the reason for you to get involved with the Crossroads House? The Crossroads House now has been around for how many years we got in, Diane?
23 years.
So how long have you been involved with them?
Personally, about 2 years as a board of directors member.
Oh, you're on the board. Oh,
I am
okay.
on the board. I was so blessed and so excited when I was approached to become a board member.
Mm-hmm.
They have an extremely active, involved board, probably one of the most involved boards I've ever been on before in my life.
Mm-hmm.
It's wonderful, so I was very glad to be there. But I've had things to do with Crossroads House for 10 years. And actually prior to that, historically. My family's known Kathy Panapeno before Crossroads came around. So when she came around and had Crossroads, we knew what was going on. We understood everything having to do with what was there. One of those things you never think you're going to need.
Mm-hmm.
Well, about 10 years ago, my father was dying. My father's name is Jim Brasington.
Oh, okay.
He had cancer and end-stage renal disease.
Oh.
Yeah, he got double whammied.
Mm-hmm.
And when it came to the end of his life, we talked about it, and he was very, I wouldn't say happy, ecstatic, but happy that there was some place for him to go that wasn't at home, where people would help take care of him so family could actually be family and not caregivers.
Right.
Because as the nurse, I was doing caregiving, and so was my mother and my daughter, and the family were helping with the caregiving aspect. We weren't able to relax and be family, which once we got him to Crossroads House.
Mm-hmm. Then you could be...
Yeah, that entirely changed the process. It was an amazing transformation.
The whole dynamic.
It was such a relief to be his daughter,
Mm-hmm.
not nursing care, not care.
Not taking care of them.
Right.
Right.
And the people that did provide the care there were some of the kindest, most compassionate, wonderful people I'd ever met in my life. And the funny thing is, two girls that I went to school with, okay, not girls, they're women,
Mm-hmm.
went to school with years ago were actually some caregivers for my father.
Although that is special.
And he remembered them.
Wow.
So that was also special for him.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was an amazing experience for us.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even imagine how somebody who hasn't experienced it would never understand it.
Well, that's what you're here for, is to let them know of your experience. And if somebody is waffling on the idea, and that's my next question, how did the decision come about? Did you have the discussion with your father and say, listen, this is what we need to do?
We had the discussion with my father, and he fully understood he was at his end of life. He knew it was actually his decision. He ended his dialysis treatments.
Okay.
So he knew that he had a very short period of time left.
Mm-hmm.
So he decided, we talked about it, because like I said, we knew Kathy. We called Kathy. They had an open bed, and that sealed the deal.
Yep.
Sealed the deal. And he actually got there. My daughter and I belong to a volunteer ambulance service as well. And we contacted them, and they allowed us to transport him to Crossroads by the volunteer ambulance service that we belonged to, which was much easier. He wouldn't have tolerated a car.
Right. Right. And did you do lights and siren?
No.
Oh,
not an emergency.
Well, with that, thank you very much, Charlotte, for that explanation and clarification on that. It sheds new light on people that are unsure. And I said lights and siren because this lady has experience in that, and we'll get into that more. And she's your daughter?
She's my daughter.
Deanna Crawford Redden.
Yep.
And it was your grandfather.
Yes.
That went into Crossroads House. Tell me a little bit about yourself. Are you also from the area that your mom grew up in?
I actually grew up for a little bit here in Batavia,
Mhm.
and then we moved out to Corfu.
Mhm.
I graduated from Pembroke in 2000.
Mm-hmm.
I chose not to go to college. I pursued EMS
Yes.
and working in the medical field.
Yep.
And now I'm a stay-at-home mom of 2 daughters.
There's nothing wrong with that at all.
No.
My wife got her EMS certification, and
It's a great thing to have.
absolutely 100%. You ever have even a minor emergency at home, you're
Right.
certified and ready to go.
Right?
Wonderful. Congratulations on achieving that.
Thank you.
So, Grandpa, 10 years ago,
Mhm.
fell ill.
Yep.
Can you tell me what you recall? I know 10 years is a long time, but how were your impressions when you had to go to the Crossroads House?
It actually worked out quite well for us because Grandpa wasn't just my grandpa. He was my neighbor. He lived in the apartment downstairs
Oh,
from
wow.
us. So, I mean, it would have been, I think part of it for him was he didn't want to deal with my grandmother and myself having that constant reminder.
Mm-hmm.
So having Crossroads House available made it much more comfortable for everyone. And I mean, the moment we walked in the door, it was just so accommodating. Everyone was so nice, and it made it just, it's never easy to lose somebody, but it made it an easier experience for all of us.
That's the key, really.
Yes.
And like your mom said, you weren't caregivers, even though that's what you were certified
Right.
and trained for, both of you. You were able to relax and enjoy and joke and laugh and share memories. And that's what the next thing is. What were your memories at the Crossroads House of anything that your grandpa dealt with?
Well, it was actually nice because at the time I was working on the ambulance,
Mm-hmm.
and my crew chief at the time, most of the people we worked with knew myself or my mother. And so they obviously knew my grandfather through us.
Right.
And because of his extensive medical history, he was in the hospitals and transported by ambulance quite a bit.
Sure.
So my crew chief allowed me, even on shift, when I wasn't up next for a call, to go and spend time with him.
Okay.
So even though I was still working, I was able to go and spend time with him. And I mean, the workers were always so sweet. They were always like, come on in, you know, they
Mhm.
invited us right in. And it was always very nice, very, very welcoming.
So oftentimes I ask, what did you learn about death and dying and life and everything? But you have dealt with that already. You've been working on an ambulance. So it
Yep.
wasn't anything new to you in that respect other than it was family.
Right. This was probably my first real family loss.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, no one ever prepares for it. Even when you're prepared, you're not
No,
prepared.
you're right.
And it's-
Nailed it.
Yeah. It's still tough. I mean, even to this day,
Mhm.
I mean, the fact that he never got to meet either of my daughters, he
Right.
died it was probably about a year before I found out I was pregnant with my daughter, my
Mhm.
first daughter.
And can you imagine now how spoiled he would have done with
Oh
them?
gosh, yes.
He would have went nuts. Would have went nuts with them.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely.
Oh yes.
You are organizing a fundraiser. Could you tell us a little bit about that for the Crossroads House?
Sure. I'm actually a Color Street consultant. They're basically nail decals, but they're more real nail polish. It has the base coat, the color, and the top coat all in one thing. It's just a easy application. It's a sticker. My daughter can do it. She's 8
Mhm.
and she can do it. I do it. I'll be watching TV and I can do them. So they're super simple, super easy. They dry instantly. So my 8-year-old can go right back to playing.
Nice.
I am donating all of my commission that I make off all of the sales for actually last month and this month
Mm-hmm.
to Crossroads House.
Nice. Very nice. Great idea. Excellent that you're helping raise funds for the Crossroads House. How can someone reach out to you?
Oh, well, actually, they can reach out to me on Facebook, Farm Gals Glam Nails with Deanna and Lottie.
Oh, my. Say that again.
Farm Gals Glam Nails with Deanna and Lottie.
Okay.
Or they can order right off my website, which is www.colorstreet.com/DRedden82.
Okay. That I think is easier than the
Yes.
other one. Excellent. Deanna Crawford Redden, Charlotte Crawford, thank you so much. And I head back to Diane Saya and everything that the Crossroads House has done to benefit families by discovering what it's all about. And 2 more people that shed some light on this. You did a great job again, as usual.
Thank you. And I just want to mention, Chris, that Emily Crawford, our coordinator of volunteer services, is one of the Crawford 3 women. And if you are interested in volunteering, you can contact her via our website, crossroadshouse.com. There's a volunteer tab.
Emily Crawford, wish you could have been here today. We will get you in here sooner or later. And Deanna Crawford Redden, thank you. Charlotte Crawford, thank you. And Diane, it's always a pleasure, and I hope to see you again soon.
Thank you. Pleasure's all mine.
This segment has been brought to you by the Crossroads House.